Hi, good evening, all. So, being the last one, I have the responsibility to just give a vote of thanks. And so, first, I would like to thank all of you because all of our our biggest fear is to have empty seats over here. So, you have been very patient, and I thank you for that. And of course, I want to thank Anita for this wonderful opportunity. Uh, and my theme is Sophophobia. It means fear of learning. So, without much further ado. Oh, did I read? Did I say my name? Oh, my name is Harshad. The evening set in and the war horns were blown. The madness stopped for a few hours. But as the battlefield cooled down, the stench of death crawled with shadows of returning troops. It wiped away the sweet smell of victory. Every evening, the bards sang victories and losses of the day. The women from both sides listened to them in rapt attention, hoping they would not get the bad news. The freshly widowed women wailed whole night. In mornings, the wails gave way to the war cries again. For 12 days, this cycle of violence has continued. But life blossoms even during the harshest times. Tara, my daughter-in-law, my island of joy, walked in with a speed unsuitable for a heavily pregnant woman. How will this silly girl carry the weight of being an empress, I wonder? You seem tense, Tara. Is everything all right? I asked, a little concerned. Since this silly girl doesn't speak, I had to check on her every now and then. I'm just glad that my sweet prince, my Manu, is here to take care of her. What's the matter, dear? Has Manu come back from meeting with his uncle? I asked to get her out of her trance. I may have been imagining it, but Tara seemed extremely uncomfortable and was not meeting my eye clearly. I asked again where my son was, and she whispered back, No, mother, no news yet. I have asked to be informed as soon as there is light in the prince's chamber. She said, staring her toenails. And I was a little miffed with her aloofness, but I knew I can't blame her. I was just the same when I was her age, married to the greatest warrior known to the mankind, yet all I saw was my Prince Charming. I was hoping motherhood would make Tara a little more queen-like. For the moment, I chose to lighten up the mood with one of Manu's childhood stories. Tara, you ought to learn how to be a strict mother. I have a feeling our little emperor will take after his father and grandfather. He would make relentless demands. You know what Manu used to pester me for? I asked her. As predicted, she seemed little excited to know, and with a little smile and nod, she agreed to listen. A military technique, I said as Tara's eyes went wider than the moon. She seemed adorable like that. I often forget that she is still a kid, and so is my Manu Raja. I continued my little story, knowing that her curiosity won't be satiated with just bare facts. Yes, you heard me. Other kids in the palace would demand for elephants or jewelry. Naughty kids like my uncle have been obsessed about delicious food. But your idiotic husband is the only one who demanded to know how to counter military strategies. God knows from where he found out that it even exists. At first, I just told him to learn it later when he was older, but he wouldn't stop asking his father. So I had to outright forbid him from learning it. I was afraid. So afraid it would fill his head with foolish heroics that his father's family is known for. I even warned his father to never tell him about the technique. What if the prince decided to barge in the war? And yet, despite all my warnings, Manu used to still try to sneak past me and pester his father about learning it. Fortunately, I have stopped him from learning it every time. Tell me, with such great warriors as his father and uncles on our side, why does he need to worry about things like that? I said with exasperation. No, he doesn't, but he never listens. She exclaimed and immediately shut up. After a little encouragement, she spoke again in a little softer voice. Oh, Mother Queen, I am relieved to know that he never learned any of those techniques. I was scared when he was talking about the formation the other side has set up today. And how he knows how to counter it, she replied. I was stunned, feeling a tight ball of doom churning in my stomach. Had he managed to learn it after all? I had to know more. Did he tell you the name of the technique? I asked in a quivering voice, hoping that she would say no. Yes, he said it, it's called the Chakravyuha, she said nonchalantly. The world went black, and all I could see was the first time I had held my baby boy in my arms and whispered his name in his ear, Abhimanyu. Thank you.